I have definitely struggled with sugar addiction in the past, so I try my best not to buy soda, because if I do, I will just keep drinking it. So I know that I don't have a lot of self-control there.
I grew up in a poor household. We drank soda probably every day. Until I was about 13 or 14, I drank soda regularly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all like related to access and education. A lot of times, like, we kind of grew up drinking soda because it's kind of like a cheap, like, you don't want to drink water, so it's like a cheap alternative to water.
Growing up in the neighborhoods that I grew up in, you saw obesity. I think that nearly everybody's house had at least somebody that had diabetes.
I absolutely see, obesity and symptoms of diabetes. Diabetes runs on both sides of my family, so it's definitely like a personal subject for me.
I don't know too much about the soda tax in Berkeley, but I do think it's a good idea. Anything that helps discourage people from purchasing and consuming things that are not great for them can be very beneficial to society.
When it was passed, I heard mixed opinions. I heard some people say, yeah, it's great, it's gonna help people not drink so much soda, and I heard other people go, yeah, it just seems like another way to tax the poor.
When the measure was first passed, I think that a lot of people assumed, including myself, assumed that the tax meant that consumers would be paying for the tax, but it's actually the distributors. So with that clarity, I think that people are a little more relaxed on it. However, you start to notice that less places are carrying like the most affordable sodas and juices and sugars. So I think that people have a little bit of a reaction for that. I personally am satisfied with the legislation because we need to figure out ways to tax corporations as much as possible anyways.
I mean, it's really up to the people.
I would say that a lot of my family probably do not feel kindly about the tax on the soda in Berkeley, as they're soda drinkers, but a lot of people that I know around my age or people that I associate myself with outside of family, they would feel similar, that they would prefer people make healthy choices and avoid things like sugary sodas.
I think if it is effective, then great, but if it doesn't end up doing much, then I guess at the very least it provides some money for school programs, right? So I don't see too many negatives, but I would love to see if it actually works.
Depending on where the money goes, like if it was going towards providing healthcare services to like underprivileged people, or maybe after school sports for kids or something like that, then maybe I'd be like, well, okay, I don't like it, but at least that money is going somewhere useful.
In order to change folks' minds about the tax, I think that we have to bring to them the real-world effects that these things has on them. So explaining to them how, like, in all of these communities, sugar has caused so many problems and continues to cause so many problems, but also showing that the benefit comes from having the sugar tax, that can reduce some of those on the health end, and then also on the economic end, that we'd have less corporations kind of ruining our lives and controlling our lives via sugar.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times when we hear tax, all we hear is government taking money and putting money where they want it to. So I think more education about where the tax is specifically going might change people's opinion.
I am okay with a statewide soda tax. I just think that if you're going to legislate that in, you should also force stores to pass the cost on to those sugary drinks so that it actually reflects in the cost, and people are disincentivized to buy them, and especially children.
I don't mind a statewide tax on sugary drinks because I don't think it's an essential item. If it were something that we needed to be healthy, something that was helpful to us in our daily lives, I would probably have a different opinion on it, but soda is definitely a choice, and a choice that is not a great one for people to make.
At this point, all we can do is provide as much access and education as we can to kind of change the tide, and hopefully one day, like, somebody's grandmother will have lived at a time where they had access to those things where they can like help their next generation of family like stay healthy.